Bind and Onimai staffers are back for yet another visual masterpiece. Easily one of the best shows of the season, if not the year. This time, yes, they're covering a show about rocks. Tool belts, footwear, proper technique, stretches, the effects that the weather has on minerals themselves, the hard work and planning that brings those gorgeous stones to the store. Yes, Ruri Rocks is finally here. The show about rocks. I'm sorry, it's minerals. You don't say rocks because those mineralogy bros get really, really angry. But yes, when I first heard about the anime adaptation of Ruri Rocks, my first initial impression was, oh my gosh, it's Bind and the team behind Onimai, but it's a show about mineralogy and I don't really care about mineralogy. But there was a side of me that was like, okay, but it's that team and they took Onimai and like transcended the material that they were bringing it from and created something that was really entertaining and visually beautiful. Hopefully they can do the same thing for mineralogy. And so far, with the first 2 episodes, I'm getting that. This show looks absolutely fantastic. The joke that I made early on is that it looks like Mahiro from Onimai got reincarnated as a girl that, you know, hangs out with a gyaru and gets obsessed with accessories. Ruri from the show, it looks just like a doofy Mahiro type of character, and it's absolutely working for me. But yes, there's still the kind of hang-up point about, you know, rocks and having to constantly talk about how this mineral is made and this mineral is being made. But it's still all kind of working. It still has a lot of entertainment value that's keeping it going. Plus, I think what they're doing so far with the characters, sort of the slice of life element and developing the characters is really working. The idea of having some bratty little kid, you know, think it's so easy to get these gems and make accessories for herself, but now she's having to learn and appreciate how all these minerals are made. But yes, my thoughts on the first 2 episodes. Let's jump into it. Ruri Rocks opens up with a girl named Ruri, and at some point she's looking at these accessories at the store and she's like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful, I want this right now. Well, her friend's like, man, you can't afford that. And Ruri turns to her and says, I can find anybody that would buy it for me, kind of flaunting her looks. And sure enough, it cuts over to her house where she's begging her mom to buy it for her. For an advancement on her allowance. But mom's like, nope, not gonna happen. You can find those gems anywhere anyways. And she's like, what are you talking about? You can't find those gems around here. And she's like, yeah, your grandpa used to come down from the mountains all the time with them, and I kind of just throw them out. Well, hearing this, Ruri decides to go out and adventure into the mountains herself, by herself, to go find those gems. Just kind of pick them up off the ground, right? Well, this kind of turns this whole thing where she's looking around. Eventually, at some point, she's about to give up. But then this girl, Nagi, ends up coming across her. And Nagi's got like all this tools and equipment on her. And really quickly, Ruby's like, hey, can you help me find these gems? I'm looking for them. Well, Nagi decides to help her out. They kind of travel around for a little bit, end up finding these little deposits somewhere. And at this point, Ruby's just like so into this. Like, hey, there's more of this stuff. Hey, can I come with you some more so we can find some more? And Nagi agrees to it. Kind of turns this whole thing where Nagi takes Ruby out to some location. They look for a different deposit or different minerals, and she kind of gives Ruby a little bit of information on it, and ultimately kind of culminating to almost this learning experience for Ruby herself. Again, this school kid that just wants to find these things so she can wear them, they're pretty or whatever, doesn't really want to put much effort into it, looking for that big gain if I can find a big old chunk of gold or whatever. It's turning into more of a thing where Nagi's bestowing upon Ruby an appreciation for what nature itself does. The process of how all these minerals are made, the shifting of the plates and volcanic action and pressurizing stuff, all this crazy stuff that all culminates to what you're holding in your hands. And it turns into an appreciation of what the object is and the discovery of it versus just the value of it. What you would sell at the store or what you would buy at the store for. And that's sort of the bigger thing there. The discovery aspect, you know, researching nature, collecting the data, and all that kind of stuff. That's what's sort of bestowing upon Ruri, and that discovery is ultimately changing her as a character from very selfish to more kind of the desire for knowledge, that seeking that truth there. And that's basically the gist of the show so far. They went out and found gold at some point, and she's like, oh, hey, this is great. Yeah, you gonna sell it? No. I'm going to keep it for myself. It's that aspect of instead of the value of it, I've discovered that it's for me. It took millions of years to make this. This is mine kind of thing. It's really, really sweet. But yeah, my thoughts on the show so far, I am really, really loving it. And yes, like a majority of that is just how the show looks. Yes, the character designs have shifted quite a bit from the manga to the anime adaptation. They give it much more of a Onimai style, very much so chunkier looking characters, thicker thighs, all that kind of stuff. But it's just got a really good aesthetic to it, the visual design of the characters. But yes, there's like twofold aspect here. It's a lot of what I experienced with Onimai, where it's just very expressive and the character designs themselves are really, really fun. But it's just that, again, that expressiveness that really does capture me. The characters, every single thing that they do, especially Ruri herself, her smiles and her frustrations and all these things just kind of just pop out of the screen. I absolutely adore it. And yes, just everything around the environments themselves and the overall animation is just absolutely breathtaking. The OP, my gosh. Whoever specifically worked on the OP, my gosh, that is easily up there as one of the best pieces of animation in the entire year. It looks so freaking beautiful. Like, every shot in that thing is just, I want to put it into a compilation. I'll clip it. It looks that beautiful. Now, I do want to give a little bit of a warning or a clarification here, because depending on what type of person you are, you're going to find this to be pleasing or not. Yes, the manga, the source material, does have a pantsu shot here and there. And it looks like, even though this is bind, I'm assuming probably the producers or whatever wanted them to kind of tone it down a little bit. They're like very kind of out of place pantsu shots in the original manga, and it looks like they're not going out of their way to have those here. If you don't like that kind of stuff, if you don't like fan service, you're not going to see it here. And that could be a bad thing for some, and something that would actually entice people for others. Because I know that a lot of people did not want to watch Onimai because of the fan service that was in it. This doesn't have that. Despite it being the team, they didn't put all that stuff in here. There is sort of a different style of fan service in here, though, is the fact that, yes, there's a lot of feet shots. There's a lot of feet shots. They love feet shots. There's a lot of, like, what you could see as being fan service, but it's not like overt fan service. You know, like just the thick thighs here and there. It's, you know, the skirts and whatnot. It's not actually showing stuff. There's tight jeans and butt shots of the tight jeans, but that's about it. This isn't showing anything more than that. So again, some can rejoice, some be frustrated. I think it looks fine. I think this style of fan service is actually better. It's almost that aspect of like just that borderline, but not going over it. But anyways, visuals aside, I think it's absolutely spectacular. The expressiveness and the animation is just chef kiss. I could watch this show alone on visuals alone. Outside of that, like I said earlier, my biggest concern for the show was the fact that I'm not a big mineralogy fan. I don't care about rocks. I don't care about minerals. I don't care about all this. Yeah, you give me a massive chunk of gold and I'll sell it. I'll take it. But I don't want to learn about it. I learned plenty in school. I don't need to learn it again. I don't care about this stuff. I was hoping that despite that, it wouldn't be too preachy. It obviously seems like this creator is a massive mineralogy fan and they have a lot of knowledge in this stuff. A lot of the stuff that I'm seeing on my screen, I'm like, yep, I remember that from school. Yep, I remember that from my classes. Yep, I remember that. I remember that from that textbook. Outside of that, will it entertain me? Can it be edutainment? Can it be entertaining while also teaching? And it's doing a really good job of that so far. And I think it really does help because the chemistry between Ruri and Nagi so far has been fantastic. Early on, it's literally this girl that has just found herself off the beaten path. She's out of her comfort zone. And then suddenly this girl shows up and she's got really good knowledge of this stuff. She's got the equipment on. And she kind of just takes this girl by the hand and becomes the big sis. Nagi basically becomes the big sis to this little girl that is just way out of her comfort zone. And again, what I love about their chemistry so far is it's constantly Ruri being very selfish and naggy and whining and wanting something to just fall in her hands. She wants the easy route, quick grab it, put it on my necklace, and I'm good. I'll look fantastic. Everybody will be jealous of me. That's what she's seeking out. She's a Garu character that wants that bling to look good in front of everybody else. But Nagi is showing her sort of the benefits to the hard work and sort of the knowledge that you need in order to get down that path and get to that goal. And again, then appreciation for everything you see. Despite the fact that you break open this rock and there's something in it that's not what you're looking for. Nope, this is not gold. But that's important because it says this. It's a discovery. It's that aspect that she's learning very, very quickly from Nagi and really starting to learn to appreciate. And that's the stuff that I've really, really loved. And again, their chemistry between the two of them is working out really well as the big sis, little sis type of dynamic. Constantly trying to hold her hand, pick her up off her butt, help her out with the situation, guide her, walk her through the process. If this doesn't turn out to be Yuri, I'd be really angry because there is an aspect here of like, I love their chemistry. I think the two of them would be a fantastic Yuri. It's so far with their chemistry alone, it's just been really working. It's very heartwarming to kind of seeing them work together and that discovery and yes, almost like Rui almost pushing Nagi at the same time. So there's something that Nagi is getting out of it as well. It's this aspect of that push to go to the next thing, that push to the next thing. And there's an aspect here where Nagi also feeling that her senpais has taught her a lot. There is an element here where she is also trying to pay that forward. Well, I'm bringing you here because this is what I should do. I was supposed to bring the next person, next generation in here so that they can discover it as well. It's really doing that stuff really, really fantastic, and I really do like it. And there's a few points in here that's also a little comedic as well. I think that it's not quite as comedic as I was hoping it would be. Again, coming from Onimai, it's just constantly doing stupid and funny things. This one is very, very subtle. This is more into the realm of something like a slice of life. It's very subtle humor. It'll happen every now and then, but it's not its focus. This is straight up just a slice of life with this little kind of how-to. Now, when it comes to the whole mineralogy stuff, because again, like, it's obvious that this guy is an absolute mineralogy geek that made this, I feel that it's not too much, but it does have these little segments where it's going to jump to the little chibi characters in the chart and showing how things are kind of forming and whatnot. It does a little how-tos here and there, but thankfully it's not too much. And what they've kind of done with it so far, again, it makes sense. It's a lot of very basic diagrams and whatnot that do kind of explain it well. So I do think that for a lot of people that are not really too informed on the stuff or looking for a little bit of information there as well, it does it very well, but it's not too much. It's not going to overload you with info dumps, and I think that's kind of appreciated as well. But I do, again, appreciate the fact that it's not on the screen all the time. It's barely 5%, if 10% at most of the episode is talking about how this stuff is formed. Most of the time, it's just kind of traveling around, discovery, goofy shenanigans, Ruri complaining or pushing to try to figure something out, or Nagi helping her out. It's all doing very, very well. And again, everything aside, this show looks so freaking gorgeous, and I just love it alone for that. I am looking forward to more characters coming into the mix. I'm assuming this glasses girl from the OP is possibly Nagi's senpai, or maybe somebody that was in the same year as she was. I'm curious if they'll bring the Gyaru back into the picture. Again, she was in the OP, and it seems like it's something that she was appreciated that Rui's getting into. But I'm interested to see these characters come back in the picture again. But either way, it's just working for me. It's really fantastic. It's heartwarming. And again, I love the growth that we're having in Rui's character. I think that alone could possibly carry it, if not by the animation alone. So yeah, if you guys are interested in this, definitely check it out. If you're a fan of Onimai, don't expect ecchi. But if you're a fan of Onimai, the style, the animation, the artistry of it, definitely check it out. Like I said, Rui is basically a Mahito character. If she was reborn as a Gyaru and just wants to have cool jewelry, is definitely in there. If you're a fan of mineralogy, definitely check it out. Or if you're not interested in mineralogy, still give it a shot, because again, I'm not a big fan of it, but yet I'm enjoying it despite that, and I think that's a good sign. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Onimai. I'm now a minor. Rock breaking minor. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below, comment, let me know what you think of the series, if you're going to be checking it out. Additionally, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe before you leave so you can know my content. I'm doing first impressions of all the shows this season, as well as doing episode impressions for certain shows. I'm not sure if I'll be doing one on this one unless there's something that I find fun to talk about. It doesn't seem like a show that you can really deep dive. But additionally, if you like this content and want to support channel more, become a member of the channel. But until next time, you'll take care.